But the biggest thing to remember is we're not dead.
Welcome back to Not So Pro Packer Talk, where we only talk about the Packers. From that past video I just showed you guys, the Packers are in fact dead, unfortunately. This season is done for. Aaron Rodgers is all banged up. I thought after that Cowboys win that we could have gone on a roll, maybe made the playoffs, maybe made some noise, but that just hasn't been the case, especially after the Eagles just ran all over us. And Aaron Rodgers is banged up. He has a fractured thumb. He has a rib injury. We don't know exactly what it is. Even though he has said that he's going to play this week against the Bears, he's definitely hurt. He's hurting, and we don't know how much longer he can play like this. He's going to push through. He's going to be able to fight through it. But at the end of the day, he is banged up, and we just don't know how he's going to be able to play, really. As you guys have seen from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about what should the Packers move on from Aaron Rodgers? Should we trade him? Should we cut him? What should we do with him? Because he's getting old. He's not playing up to this MVP caliber. He's cost $50 million a year for us. And I'm going to get into the contract in a little bit, but he is a ticking time bomb. His contract is. So I'm going to get into all that. But before I talk about any of that, I just want to start this off by saying, at the end of the day, whatever happens with Rodgers, whatever the Packers decide, whatever Aaron Rodgers decides, until Aaron Rodgers takes off that Packers uniform, 12 is my quarterback. I will support him. I will champion him. I'll be his biggest cheerleader. 12 is my quarterback at the end of the day. The way he has fought so hard and played through injuries throughout his entire career with the Packers, just put his best out there to give it all to the fans. I will never jump ship from this guy, truly. Even though I get frustrated during the games, I'm like, put Jordan Love in. I want to see the future and all that stuff. At the end of the day, 12 is my quarterback, and I will ride with him to the end until he takes off that jersey and decides to call it quits. So I want to preference this video off with that. But at the end of the day, the NFL is a business, and you can't just make business decisions with feelings. So I'm going to be talking about what Aaron Rodgers' contract looks like and what does it mean really for the Packers. Now, this past offseason, we extended Aaron Rodgers through the 2025 season, and with that, we are paying him basically $50 million per year. Now, that's not his cap hit each year. His actual cap hit per year this year is a cap number of $28 million. The following 23 season, it's a $31 million. 2024 is a $40 million. And then, yeah, so we haven't signed through 2024. But with that, he has dead cap, unfortunately. And we get hit with that eventually. The way the contract is really structured, it pushes everything towards the back. And so when he eventually decides to leave, whether we decide to trade him, if we cut him, it's a ticking time bomb that goes off. And you kind of, if you've been paying attention to the NFL, you've also heard of another time bomb with Russell Wilson's contract. If the Broncos cut him this year, it's 100 after this year, it's 107 million. Then it goes to 78. Then it goes to something else. So then it ends up basically, they cut him before his last year, it's 23 million dead cap that they will have to face. Aaron Rodgers' contract is a little bit different. It is a ticking time bomb that as time goes on, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It is really scary. So just to let you know, if we cut him, if he leaves after this season, if we cut him this season, if we trade him after this season, even if we trade him, like we can't trade away like money that we've already paid him. That money comes due to the Packers, and it can't come due to another team. It hits us no matter what. So if he leaves the team after this year, it is a $40.3 million dead cap hit immediately towards us. If he leaves the following year, 2024, then it's a 68.2 dead cap that we had to face. If he leaves at the following year, which is the final of his contract, 2025, after the 2024 season, is a 76.8 million dead cap. 76.8 million. That is insane. Just to put into like in preference, just to put it in preferences, the dead cap the Packers, like the full dead cap that we have, is 28 million with all of our dead cap from all of our different players, with Zadarius Smith, Billy Turner, Kenny Clark, etc. All these other players that we have cuts, and now we have just dead cap on our cap space. It is 28 million for Aaron Rodgers, a sole player, and this won't be all of our dead cap. There will be other players that in other spots that have dead cap. It hurts us. It cripples the Packers basically, where we are unable to sign future players to our roster, etc., etc. So the problem is, what do the Packers do with this? If he was playing MVP caliber, then it would make sense just to keep him on the roster and just keep going as if everything was normal. But at the end of the day, we signed him to this contract where we are basically screwed. If he retires, he can choose when to retire. We have to immediately hit this face cap hit. And the longer he decides to play, our dead cap grows and grows. If we trade him after this year, well, it's hard to trade him because whoever we trade him to, they had to face eventually this humongous contract and all this dead cap that we will be throwing at them also. So there's not a lot of the teams that are very interested in an aging quarterback that has not been playing very well, that is riddled with injuries, and has this humongous cap hit that is very hard to take. And then we have the option of cutting him, which is not a very exciting thing to even think about. I think that's like a no option at all, that we end up cutting Aaron Rodgers. I think at the end of the day, he either retires or we trade him. And trading him is very, very difficult, in my opinion. Not a lot of teams out there that would do it, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, what do the Packers do? What I think they're going to end up doing is they're going to write it out. They will keep Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback until he decides that he doesn't want to be the quarterback. What does Aaron Rodgers do? I don't think he retires anytime soon, in my opinion. There's a chance that he may retire after the season with the injuries he's been facing and stuff like that, but I don't think that's the type of person that he would just, or he would be, also because we're losing. I don't think he's that type of person just to cut it off and just walk away. We see from his competitive spirits, playing through these injuries all these years, that he's just not going to just cut it off and walk away like that. He's going to continue to play and end it off on a good season, in my opinion. Tom Brady, you kind of see the same thing in Tom Brady. I mean, he didn't want to end it after this past season. He said there's still things he wanted to do. That's why he came back this season. I don't know what those things are for Tom Brady, because he's accomplished so much, but Aaron Rodgers has still yet to accomplish a lot with Super Bowls. He's only got one. So at the end of the day, I think Aaron Rodgers decides to stay. But the problem is, we have a really promising quarterback, in my opinion, with Jordan Love. When Aaron Rodgers came out of the game because he wanted to check if he had a punctured lung, which is a very smart decision by him. You got to put your health first before the game. Jordan Love played really, really well. Really, really well. He had 9 passing attempts. He completed 6 of those for 113 yards and a touchdown. He led 2 drives, which ended up being a touchdown to Christian Watson and a field goal. So in 2 drives, he got 10 points. Now, you can say what you want about he got lucky, the Eagles weren't maybe prepared for Jordan Love, or they didn't take him serious, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, he was throwing dots out there. And there's a few plays that didn't look very good in my opinion. But I mean, he's only had one career start really, and the other times he's just been coming in for little parts, for a half or whatever. He hasn't had a lot of experience, so you would expect a few mistakes, but he's playing very, very well in my opinion. I'm very excited for the post Aaron Rodgers era. I don't know when that era is going to come with Aaron Rodgers' competitive spirit wanting to continue playing. And I don't think the Packers are going to want to cut ties with him either. It just looks bad on the organization to have two quarterbacks in a row, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, having a messy ending with the Packers. You know, it just doesn't look well for the Packers as an organization. So at the end of the day, I think the Packers are going to ride out Aaron Rodgers, and when he wants to retire, that will be the end of his time with the Packers, and then his time bomb sets off, and we'll have a lot of dead cap on our cap space to deal with, and then a Jordan Love quarterback who we aren't going to be able to support because of it. The Packers decided to go all in, and we are going to have to face the consequences of that, unfortunately. But that's what I think at the end of the day. I very much hope that it ends up working out. I hope a Aaron Rodgers led Packers next year are back on track. They look amazing, and et cetera, et cetera. But with the current cap space and what it looks like, I'm not very excited for the Packers' future. I think we are looking at a post Aaron Rodgers era where we are not very good, because we aren't able to, we don't have a good quarterback. We're not able to go out and find pieces or whatever. We don't have the money to get those pieces, unfortunately. We just won't have the cap space. So it's going to be very rough moving forward as a Packers fan. But at the end of the day, I ride my team. I love my team, and we're going to go far. And I'm very excited about the future, even though it looks bleak. But that's my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think the Packers should do with Aaron Rodgers. At the end of the day, I don't think they're going to do anything. They're just going to write it out. But other than that, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, Not So Pro Football Talk. And we are doing a giveaway right now for a Xavier Howard signed jersey. So make sure you guys go check out our recent short, check out our recent TikTok. It has all the details on how to enter. Find it down below, and make sure you guys do that, and you can be entered in a giveaway that we are doing next Tuesday because we hit 300 subscribers, and you may win that Xavier Howard signed jersey. So make sure you guys do that. And then other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Go Pack Go.